MMT tends to be of the view that it's money being deleted one place and reappearing another place. But I've heard from people in finance that there's more complex bookkeeping to it that they accuse us of glossing over. Don't right exactly. I've heard these criticisms and don't understand them.
Okay. Well, my understanding is that what I thought the national debt was at first was the American people's value, all currency issuers, but the American people's value. So the bank accounts, investments. So in order to pay off the national debt, theoretically, you would have the American people's investments, bank accounts, and wallets. And I said that in my presentation on the video at the conference. And then Scott Fallweiler came to me afterwards, Scott Fallweiler being one of the primary MMT, I believe one of the original MMT economists, the core team, I believe, said to me that's wrong, that the national debt is not the entirety of the value of the American people. The entirety of the value of the American people is about $100 trillion.
And that's all of our bank deposits, everything.
That's all of all currency users, but I'm saying American people. All of the entirety of the value of the American people is about $100 trillion. But that, and the national debt is about $15 to $20 trillion. And the difference is that $15 to $20 trillion has been created by the federal government since the country began. The rest of it is user to user transactions. So for example, a bank loan. So a bank loan, they create the money, but immediately the money is, a debt is created with the asset at the same time. So the money supply, the total, I think it's correct to say that the money supply doesn't increase because there's a debt and an asset at the same time. So when you get a bank loan, you immediately owe them 100% plus interest. And the same with stock transactions. So when I purchase stocks, both parties get value in some way.
Right.
So there's an equal, it's the debt and the assets go up at the same time. So that's all of the national debt. No. That is the value of the American people, where that value is like a negative and a positive shared, mirrored with people. The Congress created money is above that. So I picture it as a square, as a rectangle is the user to user transactions. So that's debt and assets, it's the same. And then I picture this sort of chimney above that, which is the Congress created money, which is only an asset. There is no debt. So when Congress creates money, they get to keep it. No, we have actually. Thank you, though. I appreciate it. My wife just brought in water. She's so sweet for both of us. But we have to. Thank you. So when Congress creates money, aside from the portion that they tax back, it is an interest-free loan, a grant. It is an interest-free grant. It is no strings attached. It is value that you do not have to pay back. So yes, you have to do certain things with that created money because the laws that were created that triggered that money to be created, the laws that were passed had money written in it, numbers written in it. So the money for those laws, so that money being created is an instruction to the people to do whatever it takes to implement those laws, Social Security, being an FBI agent, you paying your salary, or whatever it is. So the money makes it into our pockets. So aside from the portion that's taxed back, that's the national debt. And does that make sense? I wish I could draw it. I wonder if I could draw it. So
Yes.
so that little chimney sticking above, that's the national debt. Everything else is our value, but that's not high-powered money.
In other words, you have money traveling back and forth between debt and assets, and that's normal people money. That's the money that I use. But then you have injections from above that are not repaid of high-powered money.
Aside from taxes, correct.
And that is what is fueling the transfer back and forth of normal money.
Somewhat, because once it enters the economy, a person having $1 in their pocket doesn't necessarily distinguish that dollar that this came from the government or this came from a bank. So both of those feed into the user-to-user transactions. But the national debt gives us value, meaning value that we're not in debt for. That's it.
Right.
So Congress, the federal government, gives us value we're not in debt for. A bank gives us value that we are in debt for. So it's like, it's hard. I don't even exactly know the language exactly to say. I wonder if there's comments of people talking about it.
Not really.
No.
Although Jeff had a comment about
Bank
banking.
loans increase. Jeff Ginter says bank loans increase the money supply, but it's temporary because it must be repaid over time. Yes. Yes, the word debt is a bit of a misnomer because debt implies that it has to be paid back. So yes, the national debt is our national value, but really the debt is all of that, the user-to-user transactions, because that truly is a debt. So if I own something, I don't understand how to really talk about it with a stock. Like I'm getting something, I give money and I get stock in the company, but I don't really understand how to really
When
talk about it when it comes like comparing that to a bank loan. A bank loan is really clear. A bank loan is you get $100 a loan and I owe $100 plus interest.
you buy a stock, you're getting a security that you can retrade, and the value varies. So it's similar to a loan where there's an entity that you own now. It's yours, and you could get rid of it.
Okay, but I don't understand the debt side of it. So when I get something from a bank, I immediately owe the bank $100 plus interest, a $100 loan. If they believe that I'm worthy of that loan. What I don't understand is that same language with a stock exchange. If I purchase a stock,
Because you don't
I'm
know
not
anybody.
in debt
Right.
to that company.
Is the
I don't
company in
understand the
debt to
equivalent.
you because they would have to pay you back if you wanted to redeem your stock?
Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, yes, I guess roughly speaking, they owe me part of their profit, a portion of their profit or whatever it is. But that I don't understand the language between those two. But in general, we're talking about, the big rectangle of user to user debt value, debt laden value, and then the chimney above, which is the value without a debt. That's like just they can do whatever they want with it.